Okay, so after we have now watched some videos about gravity, and we've talked a little bit about it, and then we watched an experiment with some ping pong balls, we're going to read a little story called Gravity is a Mystery. Suppose you could dig a hole to the center of the earth. Suppose you dug right past the center. If you dug long enough and deep enough, you would come out in the Indian Ocean. If you jumped into the hole, you would fall down. Down and down you would go. You would fall faster and faster toward the center of the earth. When you reached the center, you would be going so fast you could not stop. You would go right past the center. Then, on the other side, you would move up and away from the center of the earth. You would fall up for a while. You would go slower and slower, and then you would stop. You would almost get to the Indian Ocean, but not quite. Now you would fall back towards the center of the earth. You would go faster and faster, right past the center, but you would not quite reach your starting point. See the arrows pointing? Back and forth you would go. Every time you would go a shorter distance past the center. Back and forth, back and forth. Gravity would make you fall toward the center of the earth. When you moved past the center, gravity would pull you back again. After a long, long time, you would stop moving. You would stay at the center of the earth. Gravity pulls everything toward the center of the earth. When you run downhill, gravity pulls you. When you throw a ball up, gravity pulls it down. When you sit, gravity holds you down. When you lie down, gravity holds you to your bed. But what is gravity? We know gravity is everywhere, even though we can't see it. We know it pulls on every rock, every grain of sand. It pulls on everything. But no one knows exactly what gravity is. That's why we say gravity is a mystery. The gravity of the earth pulls everything toward the center of the earth. You know this when you try to lift a heavy stone. Gravity pulls it down. The more the stone weighs, the more gravity pulls on it. To lift the stone, you must pull up harder than gravity pulls down. You already know how much gravity pulls on you. Do you weigh 60 pounds? That means the pull of the Earth's gravity on you is 60 pounds. How much you weigh tells how much gravity pulls on you. How much a stone weighs tells how much gravity pulls on the stone. The Earth has gravity, and so does the moon. If you were on the moon's gravity would pull you toward the center of the moon. The moon has less gravity than the Earth has. This means the moon's gravity does not pull as hard as the Earth's gravity. Do you weigh 60 pounds? If you were on the moon, you would weigh only 10 pounds. The pull of the Earth's gravity on you would only be 10 pounds. The Earth and the Moon have gravity, and so does each of the 9 planets. Jupiter and Neptune have more gravity than the Earth has. On these planets, you would weigh more than you weigh on the Earth. On Neptune, you would weigh only a little more. On Jupiter, you would weigh a lot more. Do you weigh 60 pounds? On Jupiter, you would weigh about 142 pounds. Gravity of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, and Pluto is less than it is on Earth. On these planets, you would weigh less than you weigh on Earth. On Venus, Saturn, and Uranus, you would weigh only a little less. But on Mercury, Mars, and Pluto, you would weigh a lot less. Do you weigh 60 pounds? On Mercury and Mars, you would weigh only about 23 pounds, and even less on Pluto. Suppose you weigh 60 pounds. This is how much you would weigh on the moon, on each of the planets, and on the sun. So we're going to start from the furthest back and work our way up to the sun. Now remember, they are counting Pluto as a planet, and Pluto keeps going back and forth as a planet. So on Pluto, you weigh 5 pounds, the moon, 10 pounds, Mercury, 23 pounds, Mars, 23 pounds, Uranus, 53 pounds, Venus, 55 pounds, Saturn, 55 pounds, Earth, 60 pounds, Neptune, 67 pounds, Jupiter, 142 pounds, and on the sun, 1,680 pounds. If you were on Mars, gravity would pull you toward the center of Mars. You could stand up and sit down just as you can on Earth. It would be easier to move around, though, because you would weigh less. You could run in big, giant steps because gravity on Mars is less than it is on the Earth. You would weigh a lot more on Jupiter than you do on the Earth. It would be harder to move around on the planet. Your legs would get tired from carrying you. Try running with a 90-pound pack on your back. That's what it would be like on Jupiter. Gravity is everywhere on the Earth, on the Moon, and on Jupiter, Mars, and all the other planets. The Sun has gravity too, and so does every other star. The gravity of the Earth holds things on the Earth. It holds down rugs and tables and you and me. We know where gravity is. It is everywhere, and we know what gravity does, but no one knows exactly what gravity is. Gravity is a mystery. So, boys and girls, there are some more questions about the story that we just read, so you can replay this if you need to answer some of the questions. And if you have any other questions, you can ask Mr. Rush or I during our Google Meets this week.